Do, 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 do. Good morning, everyone. How are thou? Good morning, grand rising on this beautiful Sunday. Hope you guys are doing well, okay? I want to give you guys some time to share the stream out, please. Go ahead and thumbs up this video, okay? I got, 19 people in the room and only got 6 likes. Come on, get these thumbs up together, girl. Hey, Mod. Hey, Toot Sweet. What's going on, stranger? Hey, Nubian Goddess. Hey, Doris. Hey, Natasha. Tina. Let's talk. What's going on, Brittany T? What's going on, baby girl? Hey, Miss Witt. What's going on? Coffee Drinker. You guys, Coffee Drinker is that beautiful subscriber of mine who had created that beautiful fan art that I posted in my community feed that I adore and love. Okay, and I think this is the second time she's created some fan art for me that has just blew my wig completely off, okay? Coffee Drinker is completely talented, okay? Now, we're going to be getting into some teams in this video, okay? So I want to give you guys some time to roll up in here. I need to post in the Patreon real quick as well. And I have a lot of experience in this particular topic. So I felt like if there was anybody who had the authority and the wherewithal and the bandwidth, okay, in order to really speak about this subject, it would be the Conscious and the TV, okay? Now, once again, share this out to your community feeds, okay? Let's inform the YouTube that the King is live and that the King, the King has some info for the girls. Let me post on my Patreon real quick, and then we will get into this topic, okay? So give me about 60, 80 seconds. Some people think that all over the world, because I posted the wrong thing. All right, I'm coming. Trying to get up in this Patreon, girl. Patreon need to be more user friendly. God damn, getting up into Patreon be like getting through 5 o'clock traffic on the way home while you got to take a shit. I be like, damn, bitch. Y'all ain't got no damn shortcut. Y'all ain't got no damn back alley a bitch can take. Fuck. Hold on, let me get up in this bitch. Post, darling. Come on into the building, y'all. I know y'all asses up. I know you had a sinful Saturday, so don't act like you can't creep up in here on Sunday, okay? To be part of this live. If you can fuck and suck and get nasty the night before, okay, then you definitely got it in you to be up and perched and a part of this dialogue this morning. Don't play in my face. Don't play in my face. Let's see. I'm live. Come on over. Come on over. Proving what I got to prove. And hello to everybody coming in. I am not looking at the chat at this moment because I'm trying to get Patreon situated real quick. Like, if you guys have not subscribed to the Patreon and you just want to be a supporter and you want some, behind the scenes tea, then come on into the Patreon, okay? We usually cackle and talk about shit that I just ain't gonna talk about on my main platform over in the Patreon, okay? Plus, I get just a tad bit more personal over in the Patreon. Okay, I think I got everything straight. Everything is Gucci Babucci. Everything's Gucci Babucci. Okay, let me exit out my porn, okay? She was blessing the kid this morning. Let's click up out of that, okay? Don't need to accidentally screen share that, But you guys do check out Troy Francisco. Quite cute, the porn star. He's been blessing my life. The Lord put him into my life just for me. Oh, yes, God, he did. Okay, now let's head on back over to YouTube so I can see my chat. Let me click up out of iTunes. Let's do it. Let's do it, honey. Yes, God. What's on? Whoa. Some people think that I'm just sitting on top of the world. Okay, all right. So let's get into this. So I think Miss Witt asked me in the comment section if I'm doing this because of all the fuck shit that's going on in a particular sector of YouTube. Partially, but really it was because somebody in my sector had mentioned something last night in a video that he did, and it made me just really want to touch on this topic. And I realized that by touching on this particular subject, it actually could be beneficial to whomever else it may concern in all sectors of YouTube, okay? Now, there's a lot of goddamn conversations. Hey, D-Star Hairstylist. Hey, Miss Naturally Nolans. Good morning, all. You guys know that there's been a lot. There's a lot of laws have been broken on YouTube, okay? There's been lots of harassment. There's been lots of doxing, slander, stalking. There's been a lot, okay? That technically does break the law. But because a lot of people don't really have a full understanding of how the law works and just how nuanced the law is, things that you think would simply require, a simple 911 call or, a little nice nasty piece of call to the FBI would just be all that it takes. Unfortunately, all that is going to be completely useless to you if you're looking to press charges or to effectively sue someone on YouTube who is harassing you, who's stalking you, who's doxing you, etc. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do this, because for all of my long-time subscribers who have been with me at least since last September, October, you guys know that I had effectively gotten William McCrae sued, who is a washed-up, bald-headed, scallywag, Bigfoot, mini 1998 van driving, okay? Escort paying for douchebag from the Kojic Church sued because he was actually, what's the term? What is the term? It's not blackmailing. And it's sort of like bribing, but what's the term, you guys? When you bribe someone. It's not bribe, it's not blackmail, it's something else. What is it? Come on, you guys. You guys know what it is. Jesus Christ. I've been good for too long. I have forgotten all of my legal vocabulary, okay? What is it, you guys? And I want to get the word because it's right there on the tip of my tongue. It's not bribe and it's not blackmail. It's when you try to use a form of payment as a way to not Extortion. There you go. Boom. Extortion. Thank you, Sam. What's going on, Sam Smith, Stranger? Hey, Jody, Divine Wisdom, Travis. Yes, God, extortion. William McCrae last year was attempting to extort Bishop Matthews. If you guys go back into my channel from last year, you guys will see all the videos. We rained hell on William McCrae last year, okay? When I had started covering Larry Reed's, you guys know the church blogger Larry Reed Live, he was going through some litigations with E. Dewey from the House of Hope out of Atlanta, Georgia. And William McCrae had a smidget bit of a tiny part in those matters. And I had mentioned William McCrae in my covering of Larry Reed's debacle with the House of Hope pastor. And out of mentioning William McCrae, a lot of victims of extortion by William McCrae had came forward, right? So my commentary had set off this huge thing on social media. People started speaking out about William McCrae. People started emailing me. People started wanting to speak to me personally, be interviewed, etc. We did all of that in the Patreon. We did all of that on the YouTube platform. Once again, you can go back into my channel last year and kind of see where it all began. Start with the Larry Reed House of Hope and just work your way down through, and you will see the timeline of everything. But one of those victims was Bishop Matthews, and William McCrae had attempted to extort $10,000 out of Bishop Matthews to keep him from putting out rumors that weren't true about Bishop Matthews, about him being gay, okay? And about him being involved with younger men in the church. These things were completely untrue. There was no facts behind them. There was no receipts behind them. This was nothing behind them. And William McCrae was doing this type of shit as a way to pay for his dilapidated stay at the 2.5-star motel and extended stay in the Buckhead of Atlanta, okay? He was lying and blackmailing people and threatening people, you know, threatening to say things about them if they, you know, didn't give him $200, $1,000, $1,500, whatever the case may be. All that bullshit. So me and Bishop Matthews ended up teaming up together, okay? Baby, it was a lot. You would be surprised at what the fuck you actually have to go through in order to bring someone to justice, especially as it relates to like bribing, doxing, harassment, cyberbullying. You can make things happen, but it just requires a lot, okay? So we're going to get into some of those things. Now, when I was working with Bishop Matthews, I had to also work with the DA, okay? There was a lot of jurisdiction issues as well because Bishop Matthews lived in California. William McCrae was residing in the alleyways of Atlanta, Georgia, okay? So we have some jurisdiction issues. We have some processing server issues. There's like a whole fucking strategy that has to go into getting something done about these type of matters. So let's start from the tippity top, okay? Public info versus violation of privacy, okay? Now, a lot of people feel that because someone's phone number or address can be looked up on through a simple Google search or a yellow page search, that doesn't render it as doxing, when it absolutely does, okay? You are, as an individual, allowed to look up someone's address or personal phone number, but you are absolutely out of order to put that personal identification information out in a public forum, especially with intent to be petty, to be vindictive, or to be vicious. This means that if you're going to dox someone and you want to be able to get away with it, what you can't do is call a bitch every type of a bald-headed, useless, worthless, pathetic mother, a nigga, you fucking musty, long titty bitch, and then call out their job, call out their phone number. You can't make any of those types of statements because those statements, that vulgarity, okay, produces intent. Intent. That produces intent. Okay? All the name calling, all of the heightened emotion, all of the things you do before and after you put this person's private information out, all is going to be viewed and analyzed as it relates to trying to pinpoint intent. Okay? Now, you're not promoting this person as a great hairstylist, so there's no reason for you to be putting out their location or their job information. You're not this person doesn't have a great bakery out of their home and they are selling nice Pepsi canned sodas and some delicious cookies to the local children, so there's no reason, okay, for you to be putting out their apartment or their house number, etc. If you're dragging a bitch before and after, that produces a intent, and that then makes what you're doing doxing, okay? And intent is very important when it comes to the eye of the law, okay? So yes, it's public information, but public information, whether it's bankruptcies, whether it's evictions, whether it's somebody's criminal record, whether it's whatever the case may be, it's not public in the sense that it gives you the right, okay, to plaster it across the internet, especially not with the fucking intent to shame and humiliate and embarrass someone, which is what a lot of content creators have unfortunately did, which is why they are guilty of doxing. But if you doxed someone in return, okay, you also render yourself as not having a case yourself. The cases kind of cancel themselves out, but we're going to get into that too. So public info, yes, public as in I can access it personally, but once I begin to take to a social media platform, or I begin to go to a Facebook Live or whatever the case may be, and I put this information out and I'm talking hella shit and I'm recognized and present myself as someone who has a vendetta against the person who I'm doxing, okay, that creates malicious intent. So your conduct as it relates to this person's information has everything to do with everything. Now, when it comes to trying to get somebody ran down on by the law, 911 isn't going to help you. You guys have already seen that. How many fucking YouTubers have ran down to the police precinct? How many fucking YouTubers have dialed that 9 and that 1 and that 1, honey? How many motherfuckers have called the fucking FBI? And what has happened to every single bitch in this case? Absolutely nothing. And there won't be, because when it comes to doxing and this type of petty shit, what you need is a civil lawyer. Okay, you're going to need a civil lawyer. Okay, and you're going to need to pursue a lawsuit particularly. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. First and foremost, process server. You're going to need one. Now, you can hire professional process servers, or like in my case, we had completely set William McCray up by a personal friend. This was someone who also knew him personally. And we ran down on that hoe in Publix in Atlanta and served him by handing him a Publix basket that had a pumpkin in it because it was Halloween at this time. William McCray thought that what he was being handed inside of that Publix basket was an envelope filled with $1,500 to take down rumors that he had put up on his website at that time against this particular person who we had hired as a process server. But when in fact, what was in the envelope was his court papers saying, "You've been served, bitch." The bitch got served, girl. Yeah. You know, so we had to be a little scandalous and a little conniving, a little sneaky to get that done, okay? Had to be very, very crafty, baby mother. So you're going to need a process server. Now, process servers can be anybody. It could be a relative. It could be a neighbor. It could be a stranger. It could be anybody who is just willing to put these papers in that person's hand. Okay. You need a lawyer. Once you retain a lawyer, y'all are going to need a process server. You're going to absolutely have to get this paperwork put in this person's hands before you can get before a judge to get a ruling on the case. Okay, now this may be the hard part for a lot of people, because when it comes to doxing and all of this on the internet, a lot of these people don't even live in the same state. Okay, so first and foremost, you need to have a lawyer who has jurisdiction in the state that your defendant lives in. If your defendant is in Ohio, if they're in New York, and you may live in Georgia, you may live in North Carolina, you're going to need a lawyer who has jurisdiction in those areas, okay? Because if you live in Atlanta and you retain a Georgia-based lawyer, he will be of no good to you, and he will have to refer you to a lawyer, okay, who lives in the same state as your defendant or has some type of leeway, some type of power and authority in that state. Okay. Now, let me, because I got my notes sitting in front of me. Okay, so if you want to really get something done, you need a civil lawyer and not the FBI. So stop with all the FBI shit, okay? The FBI only gets involved with murder cases, child pornography, fraud to the highest of levels, like corporation fraud, corporate fraud, white collar crime type shit, okay? Shit that requires a grand jury and paparazzi. And none of those types of crimes are being committed by even the most annoying and low vibrating of YouTubers, okay? So GoFundMe's, Cash Apps, etc., even they regulate these type of matters through their own companies just by deleting someone's account if there's a violation, because most of those violations are petty and don't require institutions spending hundreds and thousands of dollars to sue and throw a bitch in jail, because it basically ain't that motherfucking serious. So when y'all also be out here calling the goddamn police and the FBI over what a bitch posted in a community feed and how much money a bitch is receiving on a Cash App, girl, like, y'all motherfuckers, I just, I could imagine that most of y'all get redirected right to a goddamn voicemail, because if you think that this is what the highest officers in the land deal with, if you think that these type of matters is what the highest officers in the land are going to remotely put their attention to, aside from taking your name and number, you've probably missed one too many aspirins, okay? Because there's just no way in hell, okay? So stop with the FBI shit. Everybody, please, everybody, stop with the FBI shit. Stop with the 911 shit, okay? If you can't afford a lawyer, there ain't gonna be nothing you're gonna be able to do about the bitch who is doing the most as it relates to you, okay? And the reason why a lot of people are not going to retain a lawyer is because the truth is a lot of motherfuckers is simply broke and can't motherfucking afford it, okay? Because you're also going to spend in total probably a good 30, 40 fucking $1,000 between paying process servers, retaining a fucking lawyer, and all of the hours and all of the days and all of the weeks, because this is also shit that gets done overnight. Like, me and Bishop Matthews was on McCray ass for 3 fucking months, okay? And he ended up spending 60 grand. 60 grand in total, okay? Between what I was paid, what he had to pay his lawyer, yeah. He spent guaps and guaps and guaps of coin, okay? So a lawyer is keyword here, not 911, not FBI, but a lawyer. You're going to need a lawyer, okay? Now, let me scroll back up to my notes and read here, okay? A civil lawyer can actually help you to build a case if you actually have one. That allows for y'all to get before a judge to have a person's social media platform um, deleted, okay, or to have their personal website removed, okay, because you can make and customize your request to a judge in terms of what the grounds of your lawsuit is, which can be monetary, and or it could be you don't want this person to have access to the internet, you want this person's website taken down, their YouTube page taken down, etc. I get more into that. It gets very, very, very interesting, okay, because once you actually have a case, pretty much the judge becomes your personal genie in that matter, especially if you have effectively proven your plight before the judge. The judge is going to ask you, well, what do you want? What do you want, Mr. Augustus? And then I can give off my laundry list, and me and the judge can co-create some penalties, okay? Some penalties toward the defendant. Now, let me see. Building your case. Let's talk about building your case, okay? Because this is also something that a lot of people suck the fuck at, is building an actual case. First, you need to get a separate hard drive so that you can store every single motherfucking instance of harassment, whether that be emails, texts, phone calls, YouTube videos, Facebook posts, comments, etc. about you, okay? And make sure that they are from that individual, okay? Not the people around them, not the other commenters, but whomever you are specifically going after, you need to be documenting them every time your motherfucking name comes up, okay? Because the more hard-edge, hardcore evidence you have, the easier it's going to be for this judge to rule in favor of you as the victim, and the easier of a job and the more expedited this process is going to be as it relates to your lawyer handling your case, okay? Because once you have at least a surface case for harassment, a lawyer would take the case and be able to get the DA, the district attorney, involved, who will be able to subpoena the defendant's laptop and cellular devices to verify not only the things that have been brought forth by you as evidence to the lawyer, but also is going to be able to verify other troll accounts and all other backhanded, sneaky shit done and created by that defendant on their personal devices, okay? And this is, of course, this is for people who are looking to sue and or have criminal charges pressed against a stalker and a harasser, okay? Once you get a lawyer and you have a case, your lawyer can get the DA involved. Once the DA is involved, baby, the DA is going to be able to snatch the defendant's ass up by their motherfucking ponytail, okay? When you get the DA involved, the DA is able to get completely invasive. They're able to subpoena laptops, cell phones, tablets, burner phones. They're able to request access to phone records, text messages, emails, etc. Basically, your defendant will not be able to hide from the truth. Everything that they've done, all the shit that they've been doing, all the shit they've been scamming and scheming about as it relates to your ass, it will be dug up through the DA opening up a thorough investigation, okay? Do impact statements help? Absolutely. Everything as it relates to building your case absolutely helps everything. This is one of those cases where being a goody two, this is one of those instances where being a goody two shoes is going to work in your favor. Be a tally teller, okay? You want to be able to run to your fucking lawyer about everything. And the more, the better. The more you can pile on, the motherfucking better, okay? Now, once you have a solid amount of evidence against the defendant for harassment, threats, and slander, you need to be making police reports as well, especially every time you're doxxed and or threatened, because your mental and emotional response to these threats are just as useful in the eyes of the court of law as any other response is, because they show that you are truly concerned for your safety and well-being and that you feel genuinely threatened, okay? Basically, it's time to behave like a Karen bitch, okay? So all of you people who be knucking and bucking and acting like bad bitches instead of acting like damsels in distress, you're doing this completely wrong. And this is why you would be arguing with the same bitch a year from now, okay? And you would have made 101 motherfucking police reports. You would have ran down to the police 101 times, called the FBI 101 times. You would have did all this to no fucking avail, okay? Because bad bitches don't get cases. See, that's street code shit, okay? In the world of streets and ratchetness, okay? And street cred, that's how you get your street cred up, is acting like a bad bitch, okay? In situations where you're the victim. But in the court of law, you need to act like a Caucasian is the only thing that works. Not acting like a nigga, not being a nigga, not being vengeful, not being spiteful. You need to be scared and you need to be concerned, okay? Even if you aren't, because you can also play all this up superficially, okay? You just need to look this way on paper, irregardless of what the inner reality is. Okay? Hey, December, baby. What's going on? Now, third thing is keep your fucking mouth closed about the lawsuit. Because once you alert the defendant, they'll be able to dodge the process server because they know you're hunting their asses now. And you need a process server to effectively serve the defendant, or you absolutely have no fucking case at all. It does not make it before a judge for a ruling until the defendant has been served, okay? And what I mean by served is whoever you're going to have be the process server has to actually physically put this paperwork in the hands of the defendant, okay? It can't be put on their property. It can't be put inside their vehicle. It can't be mailed to them. It can't be left in the mailbox. It can't be left on the front porch. This paperwork has to get into the hands of the defendant, okay? And your process server is going to have to also sign off on paperwork to solidify the fact that they properly informed the defendant, okay? That paperwork will then be submitted to the judge. If it is found that you did not properly serve the process, that you did not properly serve the defendant, okay, the judge will throw your fucking case out. And the defendant can contest it, okay? The defendant can let it be known that they were not properly served. An entirely different investigation will open up, okay, to prove what in fact happened. So in the case of you getting a process server, having some type of a visual evidence would also be, I would strongly encourage that. Get your process server to take a picture. Get your process server to bring someone with them. Maybe this person can sit in the car as they, walk up to this person in a Publix, or walk up to this person in the grocery store, wherever you're going to pull up on this bitch at, okay? So that you can have someone else there to record the matter. In the case of Bishop Matthews, we had someone serve William McCray in Publix, and I flew into Atlanta. I was with this person. I was in the Publix with the process server. I was across the public recording the whole incident, okay? Because we just wanted all of our grounds completely covered, okay? Because sometimes you only get, one opportunity to pull up on a bitch, especially a bitch who knows that you're coming, okay? And in this case, William McCray knew that we were coming. He knew that Bishop Matthews was going to be pressing the gas, okay? Which is why we had to be as strategic as we were, which was fucking annoying and time consuming, but we still got it done nonetheless. So my advice to you is don't open your fucking mouth, okay? And the money you're going to spend doing this probably is going to motivate your ass to shut the fuck up, because once you really start making the financial investment to really hold your harasser and your stalker motherfucking accountable, you aren't going to be likely to really blow your fucking case. The reason why a lot of people on the internet and a lot of people on YouTube who claim that they're going to do this and do that and pursue the law end up turning their cases into content and being so vocal about things is because they've made no financial investment. And you can always tell a bitch who ain't made no financial investment, because a bitch who has made no financial investment hasn't actually done anything. Okay, if you want to know if a bitch is pulling wool over your eyes, if you want to know if somebody is really trying to build a case and really trying to pursue charges against someone, you're going to first of all be able to tell by how vocal they are or aren't being. Okay, because no lawyer would ever advise their client to make it to inform the defendant or the public, or to share the fact that they're pursuing a lawsuit against the defendant ever. Okay, that's actually is a conflict of interest. Okay, like we're working against ourselves by informing the goddamn defendant. Okay, so somebody who's out here telling you what's happening every step of the way is probably somebody who's lying, because there's nothing intelligent about that. Okay, or they're just deeply and profoundly stupid as hell. So it's only one of those things. They're either stupid as fuck or they're just lying to you. Okay? You have to move in motherfucking silence. Complete and utter silence. Okay? You want the defendant to be completely caught off guard by your plans. Move in. Yes. Utter profound silence. I'm reading my notes. Fourthly, and this is the part where y'all mess the fuck up at. This is the part where you cancel any chance of having your case be taken up by a lawyer, which is don't defend yourself openly. See, the reason why none of these YouTubers have a case is because they've all fought back with the person who they are accusing of doxing and harassing and slandering them. Okay? Yeah. Don't defend yourself openly, only privately. Only privately defend yourself, meaning block phone numbers, block text messages, protect yourself privately, but don't openly defend yourself. Don't make your case into content and don't fight back with the defendant no matter what, because you're liable to make threats and retaliate in return by doxing, threatening, and slandering the defendant, which opens you up to a countersuit, okay? To a counter lawsuit, and also opens you up to getting before a judge who will look at both sides and see two petty ass motherfuckers who need to grow up rather than waste the court's time with more pressing matters, okay? Who have more pressing matters. And just like the T.S. Madison and A.T. Alien case, it'll be thrown the fuck out, okay? When two parties go to war with each other, regardless of who's the antagonist and who's the victim, once you start battling back as a victim with your defendant, in the eyes of the law, you both become antagonists, okay? And the courts don't make a discernment between who's the victim and who's not, okay? And once a judge sees that on both ends, y'all both have slandered each other, y'all both have called each other all type of pedophiles, child molesters, murderers, thieves, frauds, y'all both have violated the law, y'all both have done those things, you both are just looked at as fucking criminals, okay? And a judge can either have you both locked the fuck up or just have the case thrown the fuck out, which is a waste of your time, especially if you took time and spent money retaining a lawyer and going through this whole process just to get before a judge and look stupid, okay? So you don't want to fight back. But see, the issue with a lot of content creators is they have egos and they want to fight. And they want to fight hard, okay? So a bitch starts talking shit about you, they start doxing immediately because you have a viewing audience who you don't want to look like a punk in front of. You now want to, get in the ring with a motherfucker. But I'm just letting you know, as somebody who's been through this process, okay? Once you get in the ring, bitch, you don't have a case. I'm just so sorry. And if if you want to have a case, if that means you needing to remove yourself from YouTube or social media until you have effectively served this person and gotten before a judge, do what you have to do. Do what you have to do, because I can guarantee you that if you sit in the same space as the person who's antagonizing you, they're more than likely going to be able to antagonize you into a reaction. Okay, and your reaction is going to be taken into consideration in the eyes of the law. The judge is also going to be looking at your responses. If you don't look as terrified as you made yourself seem to be with all these hundreds of police reports, you done filed 100 police reports, but you are brandishing guns on videos. You are threatening, yeah, pull up if you want it. You doing all that, bitch, you don't have a case. Sorry, you don't. You just canceled your whole motherfucking situation, bitch. Sit down and shut up. There's nothing left. There's nothing left to do. It's done. It's over. Okay? Now, let me get back before my motherfucking notes. Let me see here. Let me see. Be thrown out that you don't want to. Yeah, you need to appear as scared and or as neutral behaving as possible, because once the lawyer sees everything you've been doing to retaliate, they're going to refute the case because you're just as much of a damn criminal as the defendant is, and the lawyer needs your innocence in order to make his service effective to you as a victim. I want you motherfuckers to hear this statement again. Okay, I'm going to play it back for the bitches all the way in the back of the church, okay? As the lawyer needs your innocence in order to make his service effective to you as a victim. I'm going to say it one more time. The lawyer and the judge, the entire court system needs your innocence, okay, in order to make his service effective to you as a victim. Once you start pulling up to a bitch house too, once you start slashing a bitch tires as well, once you start dragging a bitch children too, once you start threatening to come into a bitch's state and city to fuck them up, once you start pulling up to their location, their job, where they at, once you start all that, null and void, okay? And subscribers, this is good information for you all, because a lot of this type of rhetoric, I'm going to sue this person, I'm going to have this person arrested, you need to know what to look for as well if you are going to support a content creator in their case, okay? Because their actual behavior is going to tell you whether they're scamming your ass as well and actually getting something done, or whether they're scamming y'all asses and pulling some wool over y'all ass, or whether they're actually trying to get something done, okay? And you guys have already seen everything not to fucking do, which is why none of these people have a fucking case, okay? They have no case. They will never have a case, okay? When I was doing the William McRae shit, I had a statement. I had a mantra. It was called The Art of War. I kept mentioning that. See, William McRae thought he was arguing with me. I presented myself as a distraction to William McRae so that Bishop Matthews didn't have to get into the ring, because we needed the blood on Bishop Matthews' hand to not be there, okay? So I came forth as a distraction to William McRae, okay? So that Bishop Matthews could sit in the background as a victim, okay? Which all these things helped us to excel at achieving a lawsuit that ended up rendering a judgment, which McRae don't even have money for Bishop Matthews to even extrapolate. But we were able to get him and his website banned from Google. So yeah, that obnoxious TV bullshit that was only making 1 cent a month any goddamn way, yeah, all that shit got ripped down, because that was where all the slander was, okay? And if the bitch ever dares to launch the website back up, guess what will happen? His ass will be in fucking jail, okay? Because that is a judge appointed court order. He's banned, okay? Banned, okay? Now, Bishop Matthews also could have had a lot of other things done. He could have had McCray banned from Facebook, banned from YouTube, banned from a lot of other places, but Bishop Matthews is a man of God. He gave the bitch some grace to breathe. I would have let the bitch suffocate, okay? I would have had the goddamn judge just lay it all down on the hoe. But, I wasn't going to infringe on whatever little bit of grace and compassion and understanding that God was putting in Bishop Matthews, okay, as it relates to his defendant, okay? Now, let me say this too, because this is going to be important, okay? I want you all to, okay, like me, for example. Now, there is something happening in the background, okay? A bitch has been and will continue to move in silence. This is what I did. Now, when I mean you need to look innocent, that's what I mean, okay? Now, there's, people online who have built their platforms off of talking about other people. That's really what 99.9% of their platform is dedicated to. That is going to help all those who want to pursue a lawsuit and or criminal charges against that particular content creator. See, for me, there's nothing more satisfying for one, because it's satisfying personally and it's also satisfying professionally when you can have a person talk about you, okay? And then you have people who come on to YouTube, new viewers who come on to YouTube, okay? And then they find this particular platform. They're like, oh my God, all of this, salacious bullshit here. And they just know, okay, because of how consistent this content creator is in talking about you or y'all, they just know that y'all are fighting back with this person. So then that viewer comes to your channel or comes to my channel because they're looking for the response, because they just know I must be doing something, right? I must be doing something to warrant this. I must be fighting back. It must be, a tomato tossing competition, bitch. It's not. And I love the fact that people who are kind of new to my content, new to my platform, and even new to, the low vibrating person's platform, okay? And then they scratch their fucking head because they go through columns and columns of my video and find nothing, which then makes them look at the other person like, bitch, are you telling me that you're arguing with yourself? You talking about these people and they're not even talking back to you. Are you fucking cuckoo, bitch? Do you live in a padded room? Yeah, they do. So the less you say actually works to your betterment. The less you say, the public can sit back and easily see the bullshit for what it is, okay? But once again, the reason why a lot of content creators don't have the ability to shut up. They don't have the capacity to just let a bitch talk, because most content creators have a certain level of narcissism, which means that they identify pretty strongly with their goddamn ego, and their ego is always telling them, okay? Is always telling them to get in the ring with a bitch. You got to say something to this person. Are you really going to let them drag you? Yeah, because in the end, you're going to win anyway, especially if your content is produced by talent and not by dragging other content creators. See, you actually have a viable route to take as a content creator because you actually produce content. You don't rely on debacles and feuds with other content creators for your content. You know, so which means that you're liable and have access to the world of blogging, whether you want to talk about celebrities, whether you want to talk about spirituality, whether you want to talk about politics, because you're not a one-trick fucking pony, okay, whose platform is contingent upon what other content creators do and feel and say, okay? But certainly not only does this work for you, because it leaves those motherfuckers looking crazy when they're talking to themselves, they're arguing with themselves, they're fighting you, and you are completely paying their asses dust. Not only does that amp up how mentally ill these motherfuckers have to be, but if you also happen to be pursuing criminal charges or a lawsuit, you are walking the ideal path. And a lawyer is going to be able to have a fucking field day with your case, okay? A field day. Now, after you get what you want legally, you can go and drag the living shit out of a bitch. Go and do what you got to do. And I'll give you this too. I'll give you this, okay? Because it can be tough. It can be tough if you don't have the discipline of Christ like I do. Because, see, I'm a Scorpio. And on top of that, I truly got Christ up in me. So it is very easy for me to be still. I could be amongst a raging ass storm, honey, and be sitting Indian style, cross-eyed, closed-eyed, and completely unfucking bothered. It's my nature to be unbothered, okay? My nature to be unbothered. But if you don't got that level of discipline, bitch, and you just not gonna be able to sit still for weeks and months and however long it takes, okay, for you to get to your end goal in your lawsuit. If you're gonna drag a bitch, you need to, first of all, never respond to the other party directly. Don't respond to any texts, calls, don't acknowledge, email, don't do none of that shit. But create nicknames and drag that bitch in the likeness of SpongeBob, or drag that bitch in the likeness of a horse, or drag that bitch in the likeness of the clumps, or drag that bitch in the likeness of an alias, okay? Give that bitch a jail name. Never call them by their first or last, okay? And drag the living fuck out of them. And this way, no matter how much, see, to whom it may concern, they know you're dragging them, but they'll never be able to take that dragging and never be able to take anything you're saying in that dragging and use it in a counter lawsuit or use it against you, because for one, you've never even retaliated directly or acknowledged or made contact with them directly, for one, which means that it's not probable, okay, that the person who you're dragging in the likeness of is actually this person, okay? You guys have seen me give a lot of bitches nicknames when I had to drag them, because in the back of my mind, I was always considering pursuing some legal action. So I've always been smart about the way that I have gone about things. And when I needed to drag a bitch, I always dragged the bitch in the likeness of a waist trainer, in the likeness of a scale, in the likeness of diabetes, in the likeness of my 600-pound life, in the likeness, you know, of Cat in the Hat. You know, I've always just, because, you know, there are loopholes. You got to be careful. And you got to be clever, because you want to just make sure that whatever you do, that on paper, bitch, you look innocent, okay? And even if this person tries to bring that shit to a judge or bring it to their lawyer is not going to be able to use that shit that you did if their names weren't involved, their images weren't involved. You didn't have to use their actual pictures or nothing, okay? A lawyer won't be able to do nothing with it. Nothing with it, girl. Nothing with it. And you can drag a bitch for hours and hours if you want to, girl. Just never use that bitch pictures. Never use that bitch name, okay? You give them an alias and you find images in their likeness to drag their ass with, okay? And you can soothe yourself through that process if you just must say something. So, all in all, what I want you guys to take away from this video is, if you want to pursue charges and you're being doxxed and harassed and slandered, if you've lost subscribers, if you've lost business, if there's been any mental and psychological damage, etc., and or you just want accountability, okay, you are going to have to get you a civil lawyer involved, okay? You need to collect and mount up your evidence, okay? Get a process server. Don't inform the defendant that you are suing them, and don't turn your case into content, please, okay? You don't want to give your fucking defendant any fucking heads up on anything that you're doing. It's going to make it easier for you to pull up and sneak up on their ass and to do what you need to do, okay? Because you are going to need to find them, you are going to need to track them down, and you are going to need to have them served. And if they know that you out here looking for their ass, guess what, girl? This person can run for years and years and years. There's people who've been trying to sue bitches since 1995, okay, and can't because they haven't been able to get a hold and a reach to a bitch. So being quiet, being still, and not retaliating. Don't retaliate. Don't retaliate. Once you get a lawyer and a lawyer is able to say, oh yeah, you definitely have a case, just put all your piece in that. You ultimately are going to have all the victory, okay? The person may be winning the battle for now. You know, they may be talking that shit or whatever the case may be. You don't like it, of course. Nobody ever does. But if you have a case, there's going to be some real penalty, and you keep your eye on the fucking spiral, okay? Don't look at that person's channel. Don't look at that person's content. And don't allow other people to bring you anything if all that helps you to be perfectly fucking still until you can do what you need to fucking do. And it does take money to sue a bitch, okay? Now, YouTube is real fickle in terms of their little... YouTube is tired, delayed, and through, okay? You know, and to be honest, YouTube is so tired and so delayed and through that Bishop Matthews was only able to get YouTube to even respond by threatening a lawsuit against Google itself. And they literally took William McRae's website down the last day before the judgment. I think that Google had like 30 days to take the shit down. And they waited to the last day of their grace period to actually do it. But they did it because for some reason, YouTube don't like to really move on behalf of these type of issues too. Sometimes flagging a bitch, all that shit works. Sometimes it fucking don't. At the end of the day, you know, even if you can get a bitch platform taken down, people at this point got 5, 6, several fucking backup pages. So what you really do need to really gag a bitch and shut a bitch up, which also lawsuits allow you to put a gag order on a person, which means that if a person says your name, utters your name, writes your name, types your name, even think about your motherfucking name, okay? They ask can be put away and put away and put away and put away. So actually pursuing legal actions is probably going to be the most effective if you want a bitch to keep your name out of a dick sucker, if you want a person removed off of social media, if you want a person's platform removed permanently, you want their asses removed permanently, or if you want to be able to garner some motherfucking wages, okay? Because you've lost wages and lost a lot of sleep and rest, okay, by having to put up with the bullshit and the drama and the harassment of it all, okay? So if you're serious, then just follow this line. If you need any follow-up information and tips, please just email me. I hope that this commentary was useful. Like I said, I literally had to live through this process last year, and I'm living through it now, which is, so when you guys see me over here being silent, girl, it's golden, bitch. For me, silence is a weapon, okay? And I wish that more people was able to really see silence as that. Don't give in to your ego. And your word is your bond. You know, if you're going, look, your word is your bond, okay? Your word is your bond. Integrity is everything. Oh, shit. And if you really want to be a bad bitch, don't just say things to hype up the crowd and to get some content for a little while, and to have a good thing going. make sure that your words equate to a result, okay? And if what's coming out your mouth, you know, is not going to, if there's no end goal to what you're saying, you know, you're not doing anything, you know, nothing is going to come of this, then just shut up and find another way to really fight with a bitch. But don't be throwing out this lawsuit shit and this I'm filing charges shit, because you're not. You're really not. And it's just really dumb. And then when you get into it with another fucking content creator and you start up this rhetoric again about wanting to sue and do all this shit, I mean, who was liable to believe that and to take that shit seriously? Seriously. I mean, who is? Nobody. You can get something done, but what it requires on a personal level, the self-discipline to really ride something like this through, a lot of content creators just don't have it in them, because a lot of them are just too fucking egotistical and too fucking reactive and too motherfucking impulsive to really get something done. About this, okay? Now, are there any questions before I go? Amen. Hey, let's talk classic hip-hop and Sister Crystal. This was very useful, conscious. Wonderful, right? But clearly they haven't. Let me see what y'all saying in here before I bounce up out of this bitch. Yet YouTube put things and rules and guidelines, yeah, in place, but they don't follow through unless ordered by a court. Yep, my 2 cents. I witnessed it personally. YouTube, to be honest, the only people on YouTube that really have access, I mean, that really get to use YouTube effectively are like mainstream YouTubers who are literally in the hundreds of thousands of subscribers and in the millions of subscribers. Anybody who falls under that, like, if you fall under that 500,000 subscriber mark, yeah, you just have to deal with like whatever the fuck happens on these YouTube streets. YouTube is pretty unresponsive. And they give you bots. You don't have access to real life agents. You don't have access to anything that's real. Like, you don't have access to a real life person. But once you get to that 500,000 and up, you do have access to to YouTube administration, and you get like a YouTube manager, and you're able to directly communicate with someone about what's going on, and they're able to kind of get into your account or get into the other person's account. They're able to really thoroughly investigate. But all of us, we're on our fucking own, and YouTube does not like, they don't act on their own rules. And you guys see that. You guys out here in these streets, y'all know that bitches are flagged left and right and this, that, and the third. And where's everybody? Everybody is still goddamn standing. Okay, so it's pretty fucked up. I hate that they mess with credibility with content creators that I work with. Absolutely, toots. So when they use my YouTube name, does that count? Toots, like when you say when they use your, yes. Like if they're calling you, maybe not by your legal name, but they're calling you like Toot Sweet, or whatever you go by on social media, yes, that also counts. That drag won't hold up in a court of law. It won't. You just gotta be clever about how you drag that bitch in return. Give that bitch a jail name. Give that bitch a nickname. Never use their images in your thumbnails. Never use their videos. Never use anything that allows YouTube to know who you are specifically identifying, or that the law can use as a reference to who you're talking about. You want to make your drag pretty inconspicuous, like something that only you and your followers and only those who are viewing know what's going on, but not any system above that. I think the key word here is constant. Most people that you see on YouTube suitors don't have concept. That's why the use of this to create content for clicks and views. Yeah, right, conscious. Exactly what the other person looks crazy I just don't get why people do this, but ain't gonna bust a grape in a fruit fight, I guess. Yeah, a lot of people who ain't fighters, and you know what? A lot of YouTubers, you know, a lot of people on social media go this route because there is no other way to fight. You can't just get in the street and fight these people. It's virtual. And the worse you do to somebody, the other person has to find a way to kind of level up on what you just did. And there ain't but so much talking you can do, which is why eventually y'all talk shit to each other for a year. Then somebody wants to call CPS. Then somebody wants to call the popo. Then somebody like, because you aren't actually doing anything that actually equates to any real change or penalty. Like your ego just has to find a way to just keep having you look like the victor in the situation, which means that people have to stoop to even lower and lower and lower and lower and lower and lower and lower levels. Okay. While good, that website was tragic, it sure was. The content, the website holder was tragic and is tragic, and so was the content. Absolutely, Shay K. I would never contribute to someone doing mess like that. I unsubbed from and blocked many, and you should continue to, okay? I have too much to lose, so I am going to do that. I refuse to go to jail. Oh, yeah, no, it's not worth it. And you know what? I think that there are some programs. I'll probably do another video. There are some programs that allow for free legal aid. But, you know, I'm a believer that money is power. So what you put your money into, like what your money can afford, oftentimes has to do with the quality of service. There are some free legal aid assistance out there for people in these type of situations who may not economically can afford a lawyer for a civil case. And if you can't afford one, then that is the best route to go. I would definitely strongly advise that you like do your research on the law firm. Make sure that you know the firm has pretty much that they're strong and that they pretty much have a high rate, you know, in terms of winning cases. You know, you don't want a rinky-dinky ass law firm, okay? You want them to have a high percentage of victory. Blah blah blah. Yeah, and I'm sleep. Like I have not been asleep, you guys. So if I've been stumbling through this a little bit, forgive me. I have not been to sleep since 8:30 of yesterday morning, like 8:30 a.m. So like I haven't even been to bed yet. I'm surprised that I'm even able up to cohesively do this. Yeah, but I bet you would think that since you are cool with one of the most vile doxers in one of these sectors, exploitation of children is one of the worst things that you can do. You know, that exploiting children thing is actually a lot more vague too than what a lot of people really understand. You know, just talking shit about a person's child will not get the FBI involved, and just simply using pictures of someone's child and making fun of the child isn't either. When it comes to the court, I mean, like the court really is best used like when there's been like real offenses. Like there are things that offend us personally and that offend us socially. Like us down here seeing kids be dragged, it's really striking and polarizing to us, right? Like just to have somebody even talk shit about a child is something that personally makes all of us in general feel a certain kind of a way. But the eyes of the law is not a social space. They deal with matters that are more severe. Like people have to actually really be affected in business, or at least be affected in business, money, etc. Slander. Under the umbrella of slander comes the way that you are impacted psychologically and the way that you are impacted financially, etc. And pretty much outside of that, you know, like the courts is a big ass gray space. You would think that a lot of things that offend you on a personal level are things that you can have a case for when it comes to the eyes of the law, but not really. You know, you would be. It's just interesting. Like, I didn't know that the court system was as trash as it was until I had to work with the court system last year. And I was like, oh my God, no wonder so many people get away with so fucking much in life, because the court system is not as tight and it's not as right as you think of it. I mean, things almost have to be done in an extreme, you know, for the courts to really even move. And then only people of a certain class can even afford the resources necessary to even press the gas and really utilize the law. And so that creates a disparity amongst the lower class, because what are they to do when they are being harassed, when they're being stalked, when they're being doxxed, when they're being whatever, but they're not even in a position to even be able to afford protection under the law, you know? And like I said, when it comes to doxing and all of that shit, you know, police don't deal with doxing, and neither does the FBI. Those are really civil matters. And civil matters also, you know, cost a coin, because it takes coin to retain a lawyer, and a quality one at that. Even though you are targeting one person, do co-conspirators held accountable to? Absolutely, co-conspirators do. There is accountability on behalf of co-conspirators. Now it depends on what the conspiring is towards. In the instance of doxing or whatever, co-conspirators can be subpoenaed and called into question as well, and pretty much forced to openly testify against the motherfucker who is their leader. But a lot of times in these type of instances, like, co-conspirators don't really get penalized other than by being like brought into the actual case as witnesses, and they're forced to participate against their will, which can be embarrassing, which can also it can lead to other legal consequences, but you will pretty much have to like pursue those consequences against each individual. But if a person is working alongside other people, yes, your lawyer and the DA and a judge can subpoena motherfucking co-conspirators too. They can extrapolate their cell phone devices, their tablets, their emails, can dig all off into their shit and can see the whole pyramid scheme going on. And like I said, and depending on the co-conspirators' roles and things, I mean, yeah, they can be equally held accountable. But if they didn't play as much of a role as whoever the ringleader did, at best, their involvement just helps to further penalize the whoever is the actual main antagonist. So yes, also keeping up with the co-conspirators, documenting their harassment if they are making contact with you, if they're texting you, if they're calling you, if they're emailing you, if they're talking about you on their platforms, if they're slandering you, etc. Documenting all of the main players, everybody who's involved. You want to just keep up with all of that. A lawyer will be able to really, depending on the severity of what's going on, he or she, whoever is your legal representation, they'll be able to help you or be able to inform you about what can be done against those specific conspirators. Let me see. I'm still going up, trying to make sure I can't believe I am fucking up. I cannot believe I am up. I have been up since yesterday. Okay, I think I've done. Let me see. Let me go back up. Somebody said something about their case. Let me see. This channel is only speaking logic. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to go back up and read. Okay, hold on. Let me Nobody in my keeps. Hey, classy queen, what's going on? Let me scroll down. Let me see here. Okay, CTV, thank you for the sermon and the lesson. You are welcome, Miss Witt. Once again, you guys, I am tired. I'm exhausted. So if I'm stumbling through, forgive me. Hey, Trisha, this is why smaller content creators latch on to absolutely latch on to larger content creators. Yes, larger content creators have access to things that smaller content creators don't. They have given out my real name to baby father, so they are endangering me and my family. They have nothing to do with YouTube, even found my Facebook that is linked. Yep, all that is definitely can help in building a case. And calling you by your government name, if you are going by a alias on YouTube, etc., that is considered doxing. And if they are being malicious towards you, that is what renders it as doxing. Allow your good behavior to speak for it. Absolutely, Robbie. Doxing and watching these fools cut up is why I'm hesitant on starting my YouTube channel. I'd rather just do my podcast and call it a day. Miss Witt, it ain't worth it. You know, if you can produce content and just, you know, do something that doesn't have anything to do with other content creators, that is, I will always encourage that. I was wondering why so many content creators use the person's pictures in their thumbnails and nothing happens to make them take it down. You know, sometimes it do, sometimes it don't. Like I said, YouTube is so fucking fickle. But if you are building a case against a content creator who is harassing you, and that content creator is using your images, that is going to work in your favor, because that's just more evidence that they are targeting you. So anything that that content creator has going on their platform, anything that's in reference to you, the better it is for you. But yeah, YouTube sleeps on all that type of a shit. YouTube sometimes will do their job and sometimes they fucking won't, you know, which is why people end up having to actually go to court, because YouTube doesn't even reinforce its own policies. Like, people are dropping bans to take people down, pay some bills, I pay my student loans. Exactly. This channel is the only one speaking logic. Both sides have went back and forth about supposed legal action and nothing has been done. Nobody's going to jail or going to court. Absolutely. It's been going to court, except for Granny. Except for Granny. You know, we was the only ones who really, you know, put the fight in, and we were very happy about the results. And because I've been through this process, I know when people are playing y'all. When people be like, you know, be trying to raise money for this, or be telling y'all they gonna press the gas and they gonna pursue, I can already tell by how that person is even going about matters if the shit is real or not, because I've been through this before, and I know what the legal advice is by your lawyer if you do have a case and you are pursuing charges. And everything that these content creators do who claim that they have a case and they got their lawyers involved is in complete contradiction. It's in complete contradiction to everything that a lawyer would advise in these matters. Like, you got people claiming that they're going to sue and press charges against people who's doxing them, but they're doxing the other person in return. How the fuck does that work? And even if they're not doxing the other person in return, they're doxing other people. So you can't be a victimized criminal. Like, there is no lukewarm. Like, you either are a victim or you are a criminal. Like, you can't be a criminal and then have a case because somebody's victimizing you, but you are here victimizing someone else, because that same person who victimizing you is going to be able to use your behavior towards other person A, other person B, and other people C to void the case you have against them. If I'm out here trying to hold David, I'm going to sue or press charges against David because David is doxing me, but I'm out here doxing Sheila and Ashley and fucking Antoine. David gets to take the fact that I'm doing exactly what the fuck he's doing to me and I'm doing it to others, and use that as a way to get off. on being held accountable, or at least have us both held accountable, bitch. Like, I'm just helping someone else to hold me accountable, which is just really dumb because we both sitting in jail, bitch. You sitting in jail for doxing me, and I'm sitting in jail for doxing them, and they wasn't even the ones to even pursue legal action, bitch. You used what I was doing to them as a way to defend yourself, and now I'm sitting in here with your ass. So really, what point did it really make? So you don't want to be you can't have you just can't have the blood on your hands. You can't it doesn't work out. And any fucking sound-minded lawyer who is like wasted his time getting a fucking degree is not going to deal with any bitch and any motherfucker who literally, like, if your hands are dirty, why would a lawyer want to take interest in your case? No self-respecting lawyer is going to think you have a case, because they're going to have to find a way to scoot around all this shit that you doing over here on the side. And all that shit is going to come up. If you're being doxxed on YouTube and you got videos and videos of you doxing, of you slandering other fucking people, like, you as a victim are going to come under a microscope as well. Like, when you pursue legal charges against someone and things go to court levels, all the attention just is not on the defendant, okay? Judges and courts and lawyers have to look at you and everything about you and everything that you are as well, okay? In conjecture to what the fuck is going on in your case with this other person. So the more cohesive you are in your being, the more that it makes sense, you make sense as a victim, the better it is. But once you start mixing oil and water, I mean, look, you're just gonna have to be out here talking shit, and that's gonna be the most you're gonna be able to defend yourself, because you're just not gonna have a case. You're just not gonna have a case. You're just not. I can tell that I'm falling asleep, child. I'm holding on. Doxing and watching these fools cut up. Let me see. Many of these content creators have nothing to do. I think I read that. Let me scroll down. Oh, shit. This thing is moving fast as fuck. Also, the law needs to be updated to address cyber. Yeah, the cybercrime laws are developing as we speak. Because the internet is fairly new, we don't actually have a lot of crimes. I mean, we don't have a lot of laws in place as of yet. For cyber bullying and cyber harassment, there's lots of legislation and stuff being worked out now to make a lot of to create nuance within the law as it relates to crimes that are committed virtually. But because, like I said, social media is a fairly new thing, a lot of things within our law have not made space for cyberbullying. So those things are being created as people become victims of cyberbullying, becomes victims of virtual violence. And so it'll probably be like another few years, honestly, before we see a lot of laws put in place that have to specifically do with things that happen online, etc. Because as of right now, it is still pretty vague. Also, the law thinks to make other issues of bullying because this rarely just stays online; it spills over into offline. You know, well, the good thing about it is, you know what? I'm happy that a lot of people do live out of state, honey, because yeah, if a lot of these content creators lived in the same city and states, it would have been a bloodbath a long time ago. A long time ago. Matter of fact, a lot of people online act the way that they act because they feel protected behind a screen. What gives them the balls to fuck with you is the fact that they know that you don't have physical access to them like that. A lot of these people are not brave of heart. A lot of people are not as ballsy as they behave online. and they're able to kind of create an alter ego version of themselves because it's virtual. Do you honestly think that a lot of these people who talking shit about you would talk shit about you to your face? Of course not. I never met one bitch. Not nail one. Not nail one. Nail one. Okay? And when people out here doxing people and bringing up people's criminal background, as much as you think you may be shaming a bitch who has a criminal background, you need to be realizing that that's the bitch who don't care nothing about the law, and they don't have to live in your city to hurt your ass, bitch. They would clearly pull up wherever they need to tap that ass wholeheartedly. Okay. Who you don't want to be fucking with are the people who got criminal fucking backgrounds on the internet. You better find you somebody a little bit more in line than conservative to fucking bother. Okay, you don't want to be bothering motherfuckers who don't have no fucking problem breaking the goddamn law. Okay, that's not going 9 times out of 10 turn out too well for you. But yeah, a lot of these people talk a lot of shit because it is behind a fucking screen. None of these people are going to pull up. FBI, courts, and local PDs have real life murderers, case robbers, drug dealers, sex traffickers to deal with. They ain't for the absolutely. Even YouTube ain't for the YouTube shit. Like YouTube don't even enforce their own fucking policies. Really, the FBI? Really? YouTube don't even reinforce their own shit. Come on. Walk away to fight another day. Staying calm is a godsend. They go low, you go higher. Yes, honey, you let your lawyer do all your low down dirty work, baby, and you sit high on your throne where you belong. I'm going to have to watch the replay. I came in 30 minutes late. Oh, I catch that replay, boo. Good morning, everyone. Let me scroll, make sure I got everything. The courts usually help those with money and resources, and those without money have little to no access to no relief through the court system. Yep. What's going on here? Who docs who? Nobody's going on here. Sedela. I was just watching someone I was subscribed to. I was watching a video that they did last night that really inspired me to come up here and do this commentary. So this is just like a informative video for any bitches who are for real about getting charges pressed. For anybody who was for real about pursuing any type of litigations or anything against another social media, influencer or content creator. Okay. This is just a little bit of information for them. You are a blessing. Thank you, Ele TV. Thank you, CTV. Exactly. Here's the peoples. There's no gray area. Victimized criminal. I'm for real. Let's talk classic. Motherfuckers be a victimized criminal out here. It's motherfuckers who done look. People who be running down to the police, honey. Like I've had one low vibrating a motherfucker who done sat up here and done all the criminal shit and got the nerve to hold himself as a victim. I'm like, girl, are you okay? You'll be okay soon. I'ma help you out, honey. I got some things that it's gonna help you out, because this victimized criminal syndrome is for real. It's for real out here in these streets. Conscious, you talking right. I always do, boo. Good morning, boss lady Lexi. Hey. Go to bed, CTV. We would love to have a part 2 of this issue later. I know I'm holding on. Can you say delusional? Delusional, Trisha. T Trisha 1. People delusional like crazy. Just sick in the head, honey. People done flash guns. People done threaten people. People done dox people. And they claim to be the victim, honey. They the victim. Okay, baby. Make it make sense, boo. Make it make sense. Let me just go to this one. Good morning. I am going to have to go back and watch from the beginning. Get you some rest. I will, boo boo. I do because I could just hop a flight, but I refuse to go to jail for snatching a bitch. And I'm not above my catching flight days. But all I can say is anything I'm going to do, baby, I'm going to move in silence, honey, because I'm trying to get away with as much as possible, if you know what I mean. I'm a move in silence, boo. I don't got the kind of ego that like I need to show my ass on the surface, whatever. If I'm gonna touch you, I'ma touch you. And it's enough for me to know that I touched you. I don't need it to be plastered all across the internet or what. Like, that shit don't mean nothing to me. If I feel like if I ever need to do this or do that, I will. And like I said, I don't have the kind of ego that would have me want to be braggadocious about it. Personal vindication is very fulfilling for me personally. I wouldn't give a damn if nobody ever knew what happened in real life. What happened for real. And I would have enough self-control to be able to get right back on this platform and people not ever know that I just beat that bitch up in a Waffle House, honey. And that hoe ain't gonna come up online and let you know that they just got their ass thrown through a window, at the downtown Waffle House, But as long as me and that hoe know, I'm cool with that. I wouldn't feel the need to come up here and make that content. Nothing, honey. Not at all. Not at all. So whatever you do, hey, you just better be fucking smart about it. It be some real fucked up shit that does go on. I just want to also strongly encourage people to stop fucking with people, because people are crazier than what you might imagine, okay? And nothing is actually more terrifying than the person who has anything to prove, okay? Because that's the kind of bitch who can get with you in real life, okay? They don't have no problem with you looking like the big bad wolf socially, because what they're spending their time doing is finding your ass behind a back alley. See, what they want is a real intimate moment with you while you want to showboat as the big bully. Okay, all for show, all for gloating. That's one thing and one thing only. But that ain't the motherfucker you need to be concerned about. I know all your mamas told y'all it's the quiet ones who you need to be concerned about. Yeah. It's those people. It's those people who not gonna go make 100 videos on your ass that you need to be shook about. It's the person who gonna let you talk shit for months and months on end before they respond, who you need to be concerned about. It's the person who's not flashing a goddamn gun, the person who's not making no threats against your ass, who you need to be concerned about, okay? Because dumb people, dumb people end up being the people who make the 6 o'clock news, and all the family and friends swarm around and say, "Oh my, I would have never thought. Whoever saw this coming? He was such a nice, quiet." Yeah, because the nice, quiet one is gonna get with your ass in real life while you are here putting on a show. The real crazy bitch, the one who's actually crazy, the one whose tick actually goes tick tock boom. Real life. Real life. See, people were kind of surprised, when it came out that, I had an altercation, with my ex, because, I think people sleep on me, and I like that. I like that people sleep on me, maybe because I'm like a little on the light bright side, maybe because people feel like I'm maybe on the effeminate side of the spectrum, that I don't have big boss inside of me. I very much so have dangerous bad bitch lives on inside of me. I don't play in real life, okay? And I like when people underestimate me, because when people never see you coming, that just helps you in every instance in which you got to fight, whether you're fighting intellectually, whether you're fighting physically, because people are not going to fight you as hard if they don't feel threatened, which means that their defenses are going to be compromised, because they're expecting a drizzle when you are an entire tsunami in all actuality. Okay. And that allows you to obliterate a motherfucker on contact, in whatever way contact needs to be made, whether you're just going to cleverly utilize the law to seek your revenge, or whether you're going to have to, reach out and touch a bitch, like an angel. It all works. It all works. All they would have to do is look in your eyes. Love CT, get some sleep. Bye, bless. Don't cross state line, bitch. Come on over, baby. Come on over, baby. Step on over. Step on, cross that line, honey. Honey. You ain't gonna never, let me tell you, you ain't gonna never hear that nigga testify to crossing that state line. It's never gonna happen because niggas ain't built like that on the internet. They ain't built like that, child. These people are a joke. I definitely want to touch, but I'm glad your voice always talks to me. Yes, Toots. There's more mature and ladylike ways to handle these type of matters, okay? You definitely don't put yourself in a situation to have to lose anything. People who have nothing to lose are dangerous. Yeah, and you know what? People who have a lot to lose are dangerous too, because people who have a lot and who have worked for a lot and who accomplish a lot oftentimes also are willing to go to great lengths. Ask some of these people about the black cars, about the black SUVs that pulled up to their house. See, a few months ago, there was a particular YouTuber who came on here screaming about, how some black SUVs pulled up to their door. People came knocking, okay? People, look, everybody can be touched in more ways than one. People can be touched, okay? And people who have nothing to lose are willing to do some extreme things, and people who have everything to lose will do whatever they have to do as well. Just don't fuck with people. Just don't start no fire if you ain't ready to get burnt. Don't start no shit that you can't finish either. Because some problems, once you allow yourself to have them, it's gonna be for a lifetime. And some problems turn fatal as a remedy, as a resolve. And some problems will cause you to lose everything, as and your only intention was to appear to be something that you aren't, which is bold, which is strong, which is a hero, and you're none of those things. You're a child, and you're stupid, and you can be touched by the law. You can be touched by the individual. You can be touched. You can be touched. And if you know that you ain't really trying to get in the ring like that, then just sit down. Just sit down. Because there's real consequences out here in this world. There are. Yeah, there are. Is it legal? I want that YouTube video taken down. This guy has my private call on stream. Oh, Gene Wallace. Is it legal? Well, you can have the recording taken down. You can flag it if your voice is on it, etc. Also, I know in some states it is illegal to a two-party recording or some shit like that. You have to look at your laws in that person's state or y'all state, if this was someone who lives in your same state, and see what if there's a two-party consent, because I know in some states it's not illegal to record somebody, to record a person's phone call. If it is illegal, you need to make a police report, for one. Give the police department this person's information. Make sure that their name, that their platform's name, etc., goes onto the police report. And then when you go to flag the YouTube video, also submit that police report to YouTube when you go to flag the video. So do that, and YouTube should be getting with you shortly. Infringement of your rights. Good morning, Quiet Storm. Hey, baby. He made a fake account and recorded a private call, then played it live. Is that legal? Yeah, no, that's well, like I said, that just depends on the state. Look, just go to Google and look up like a recording without consent laws in your particular state, and see, because you may live in a state that is perfectly legal in. Good morning. Did you already explain how to make a case? I have a YouTube from UK that's done 10 shows on me slandering in line because I disagree with him in a debate. I don't know what to do now. Good morning. Okay, so you have a YouTuber from UK that's done 10 shows on me slandering. Okay, so I'm gonna talk a little. I'm gonna talk very briefly too about slander, since Jean has brought that up. I'm sorry to hear about that, for one. Now slander is distinguished in the eyes of the law as well. Like people like us as everyday people, when we think of slander, we think that somebody saying something that's not true is considered slander, which in a way it is. But in the eyes of the law, slander has to be false rhetoric that has damaged you personally in some way, either psychologically or financially. So this is why in a lot of slander cases, I don't know if you guys have ever studied any slander cases, but in a lot of slander cases, people have like, even if they weren't psychologically impacted by the slander, people will get therapy and be in months for therapy building their case, because they need to prove that either their health, their mental health and emotional health, or their business or their platform was impacted by the slander. But there has to be some type of a objective damage done by the slander. Slander in the eyes of the law is not just somebody talking shit, talking about the way you look, or just talking about your life, talking about your mom, or just, dragging you, whatever the case may be. That wouldn't work alone in the eyes of the law. You would have had some objective loss experience. Maybe you lost 100 subscribers, maybe you lost 300 subscribers, maybe people you saw a decline in your business, in your clientele, or are you able to prove that you suffered emotionally and psychologically at the hand of this person's slander and abuse, etc. So it gets very interesting when it comes to the law. But like I said, if there is a recording, Gene, you need to look up the consent to recording laws in your country. You said that this is a UK YouTuber, so I don't know if you live in the US and this YouTuber is in the UK. That's going to be interesting all by itself. What you can do, I mean, at the very least, at the bare minimum, is just try to flag the video for the recording and see what YouTube tells you. Once you flag it, if the flag gets the attention of the bots will investigate the claim, and they will return a verdict back to you. They'll either tell you that they don't find anything wrong with the content, or whatever the case may be, or that this person does have rights, or they will let you know, that they did find it A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and they removed it. They privated the video, they deleted the video, whatever the case may be. So at the bare minimum, just flag it and see what actually happens. Unless a minor is involved in Tennessee, yeah. What he been doing is dangerous line saying I support terrorism and threatening me with FBI. Now I got people sending me death threats in the comments. Okay, you need to document those death threats, etc. You can flag that video, screenshot the comments in the comment section, screenshot all of the comments, etc. Flag the video. YouTube would give you multiple options for like harassment, bullying, etc. Now, I'm just letting you know right now, YouTube is full of shit. YouTube oftentimes does not reinforce its own policies. So if YouTube does nothing, don't be surprised. So when you do go to flag this video, submit all the screenshots of the comments that are against you, etc. But if you don't get any help from YouTube, don't be surprised. So go in with very low expectations, which is why I'm here talking about how to legally get something done, which, you know, tends to always involve getting a lawyer, and your lawyer can actually sue YouTube as well, and or threaten YouTube with a lawsuit. You can get a lawyer to threaten YouTube with a lawsuit. Now, YouTube and Google is good for responding to threats without it actually having to even become a full-on case, because YouTube just don't like them kind of problems, and they don't like spending that type of money and just having to go through all of the wherewithal. So usually they'll be willing to, in a way, like settle out of court, which is just respond to the threat. You just have to get some legal representation, and have your lawyer, you know, send YouTube or send Google, who owns YouTube, some paperwork, and threaten them with a lawsuit. 9 times out of 10, YouTube is going to reply. I worked with a pastor and a bishop last year. He didn't even have to take Google to court. He simply threatened Google, and they were able to get the person who was slandering him, get his entire website completely removed just by threatening Google with a lawsuit. So do that. Flag the video. You may get somewhere with YouTube. If not, retain a lawyer, get him to threaten Google, and YouTube can, and Google can have at least those videos removed. 9 times out of 10 though, 9 times out of 10 though, once Google actually responds to a lawsuit, they're not even going to just remove a video. They're more than likely going to completely delete and remove the person's profile all the fuck together. So yeah. Can Gene do a copyright complaint as well? Yes, do a copyright complaint as well as a privacy flag. You might be able to really get somewhere with the privacy flag. Or YouTube, you know, tends to kind of try to do its job when it comes to flagging. I mean, to responding to privacy violations, which involve like your name, your phone number, etc. Recordings can fall under that umbrella too. Thank you so much. Was excited to see the title of the show because I'm going through it. This YouTube boy is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's real crazy. I would involve you. Look, I would involve a lot of the audience and subscribers. Like, try not, yeah. Use the avatar. Don't use your real name on YouTube. Especially if you are a supporter and you're not a content creator. And yeah, try not to have any controversial relationships to these content creators. Like, try not to link up with content creators just to go after someone, or try not to create a bond with content creators off of the backs of any type of negativity, because more than likely things are going to take a turn for the worse between you and that content creator as well. And when that happens, you're going to see them behave the same way towards you that you see them behaving toward whomever it is they also don't like. So I would just really encourage a lot of supporters just to really view a lot of these content creators from afar, especially a lot of the content creators who participate in a lot of the rah rah rah. Like, you know, if one of your favorites is a rah rah rah, just be a fucking observer. Try not to really step foot into any of that shit. Because 9 times out of 10, you will eventually be a target because you can't even disagree with a lot of the content creators who are about the rah 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 without them doing the most. Their egos are too large. Their narcissism is too hardcore. So you're going to be ate up. You're going to be fucking ate up. So just try not to participate. Try not to even leave comments. You know, even on that person's platform. Just try to kind of like watch them from the bushes. You know, if you are a fan and you do like, but if you disagree, keep your disagreements to yourself. Because yeah, it's getting to the point now where content creators are coming after supporters, you know, are coming after people in the comment section and are doxing people in the comment section. And it's just really getting out of control. It's retarded as hell, to be honest. It's just dumb. Stay in the bushes, baby. Yes, you know, particularly when it comes to the content creators who are rah, 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 rah. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. But let me get out of here, you guys. I am like falling the fuck out. Thank you guys for tuning in. I just wanted to come through and all that. Oh my God, thank you all who shared the video. Auntie Donna, Cinderella, thank you all. I hope this video, like I said, was very informative. And just share it, you know, to anybody who is looking to pursue some legal action against someone who was harassing them online, etc. Because I've been through this process, so I just wanted to give, you know, some bullet points. I just wanted to make some bullet points about this type of a situation and give some tips as it relates to that. You are so welcome, Tooch. You keep your head up, baby, and hit me up on Instagram. Like, tell me what's going on. Like, I am so out of the loop on so much that's going on because so much is going on. But hit me up, Classy Queen. I love you. I'm about to go to sleep. You tell a nap, baby. I'm about to be gone for the day, honey. I am out of here. I've enjoyed and shared the live. Have a great. Thank you, my 2 cents. Thank you all who shared this stream. I love you all. You all be safe. I did have another live scheduled for today, but I'm going to not. I ain't gonna be able to execute on that. I'm gonna be knocked the fuck out. So I might be back tonight. If not, I'll definitely see you guys tomorrow. I actually was going to go into Patreon. I'm supposed to be my Patreon right now too, but I'm over it. I need to sleep. So if you guys want to see me later on today, I'm gonna still keep my word with my Patreon and go in there tonight when I get my fat ass up. So if you guys want to hit the Patreon, all my patrons in the comment section, I'm coming tonight. Okay, have y'all asses up. And if you're not in the Patreon, get in the Patreon. All information is always in the description box below. Okay, I love you guys. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.